that we should chat about since you're a teacher and you know the ins and outs. But mainly I'm thinking is there a point in going uni? Might as well go straight for the kill.
Yeah, let's go straight for the jugular.
Degrees, I think they're losing their weight in gold.
Right.
In the sense of we're coming to a stage where I saw this meme of a kid, a little baby reading a computer science book, and then the caption says, when your job asks for 10 years work experience after uni. So basically he's basically saying, let me start now with my experience so that when I actually finish my uni degree I can say I've done 10 years. So the whole point is mocking the fact that regardless of a degree or not, there's still more that they want. Like experience. And that can almost trump a degree sometimes in certain industries. And so you think, what's the point? Is there a point in going to uni? Is there a point in getting a degree? Are we stressing for no reason? Because literally in the student room, everything, well, out of 10 posts, 8 have to do with uni.
Right.
So it's on everyone's mind. What do you think?
What do I think? The key word that comes to mind is balance. I think in the kind of marketplace of employment, education, uni has to be a part of the conversation, but it's not the ultimate answer. And this is something I even say to my GCSE students. I don't currently teach A-level. I hope to one day. I will one day. But, I say to my students, don't think you have to go to uni. It's an option.
That wasn't the case, though, like 10 years
ago.
Yeah,
I know.
It's crazy how it's changed.
And I think that I imagine, I can't say what other teachers are saying to their students, I don't know. But I imagine, just from speaking to my students and even hearing snippets of how some of my colleagues talk to their students, uni is kind of portrayed as just the next logical step. You do your GCSEs, you do your A-levels, you go to uni, you get a job. So I say to my students, look, you've got many options. You can do an apprenticeship, you can start working and just developing your career. You can take some time out, travel, do some soul searching.
Before you carry on, just on that soul searching part, time out, because it's making me think. I'm trying to compare how I was when I had to make the decision, which wasn't that long ago. 5-6 years ish. And now you can never convince me to take a year out.
No?
Just because of the pressure. Again, African household.
Yeah.
Uni, like, what are you doing wasting time? Get into uni and do something. It's interesting that is an option now. And I think it is an option now where people do think, no, let me not rush into this. Let me get a job, stack some money. Let me think about this.
And I think it's an important option to consider, because I remember when I was at uni. So I went to uni as a mature student. I started my degree when I was 27. So from 16 to 26, 27, 16 to, let's say, 25, 26, I was basically out of formal education. Okay. Backtrack a little bit. So 16, finished school, got a job. Just, coming from a Caribbean background, uni wasn't a big part of the conversation. Even anything past your GCSEs wasn't a huge part of the conversation. I imagine that's different now. But my parents were, even at the time, were sort of quite old anyway. So finish school, get a job, and pay your way in the house. You know what I'm saying?
There's bills to be paid.
Bills to be paid. But then did that for a year, worked for a year, and then thought, right, I actually want to go to college. So I went to college, studied drama. My first year I completed, but then the course got cancelled.
Was it?
Yeah, they ran out of funding. It's drama, do you know what I mean? It's not English or maths, it's
That's
drama.
another topic we need to get into.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, you know, we were given a letter of apology.
You didn't have to pay.
No. But it was kind of, we didn't have to pay because it was, you know, it was just a state college. But, you know, we were kind of given a letter of apology / reference and a pat on the back. Do you know what I mean? So then I took that, went to another college, studied drama, did it for about a year and a half. And then it was different. I didn't like it. It felt more like a factory as opposed to a theatre. Right. Obviously being a drama student at the time. And I dropped out. And then, yeah, from let's say 18 going on 19 until I was 20, 25, 26, I was out of formal education. I was pursuing other things. I was working full time. I was pursuing my music career. When I got to the end of that pursuit, when I realized, okay, my music, I'm not making any money from my music. I was in my mid-20s at the time. I was like, I want to make some money. I want to sort of settle down. I decided to go back into education. When I got to uni, well, I did an access course first. So everyone was 19 plus. Most of us were in our mid-20s, somewhere between our mid-20s and our mid-30s. Most of us on the course. Some were a bit younger, some were a bit older. And one of the common things we were all really sort of grateful for and reflected on is, even though we've gone out and we've done other things, this feels right. Because we've had time to go out and learn and make mistakes and have some successes, have some failures. And we've gotten to a place where we're like, I want to learn now. I know exactly what I want to study. And this is my path. So I did my access course, absolutely loved it, enjoyed every moment of it. I mean, I soaked it up. I was on time for lessons. I was engaged. I wanted to, you know, I would do extra. I'd be in the library because it was all choice. I felt sort of in command and in control.
So do you...
And that mindset carried on throughout my degree. When I got to uni, I was fully engaged. I was the nerd at the library by choice. Yeah. I remember one girl, it annoys me even now, but you know, she was young. She may have been, I don't know, 19 or something, 20. And she used to say to people, he's a bit weird. He's always in the library. Do you know what I mean? But I'm like, well, that's why you're here. Yeah, exactly. And you're here to learn, not to flipping look good and chat people up. But I think, I remember, speaking to 19, sort of 18, 19, 20-year-olds when I was at uni. So I was 27. So I'm like, you know, 8, 9, 10 years older than these guys. And a lot of them, they were kind of like, yeah, my parents told me to do it. Or I just thought it's what you do. Or I don't even know if I'm going to go into this line of work when I finish my degree. So whereas opposed to me, I knew exactly what I was doing. You know, I chose my degree, I thought about it, and I already had an idea of my career path afterwards.
So that's what I wanted to talk about. The fact, I like the word you used, it was the right time.
Yeah.
And you can, that resonates because, like you said, when you spoke to the 19-year-olds, you get the sense of the opposite. It's either the wrong time, or I don't even know what time it is. I don't even know. I ain't got a clock. I ain't got nothing.
No, what's going on?
And so you would imagine if a lot of these kids were more confident, you would probably see a lot of them not go straight in.
Oh yeah.
Because it's probably worth saying that actually you need to wait for the right time.
Absolutely.
Timing is everything.
Absolutely. And this is why I say to my students, remember, you know, they're sort of 15, 16 at the end of their GCSEs. I'm saying, look, don't think uni's the only option. Go out, Try something, and especially nowadays. I mean, you know, you can do anything you want to do, man. You can do anything. You can start a YouTube channel. You can start a band. You can get involved in sports. You can start a business, a side hustle. You can literally do anything, and as long as obviously you've got a good family and, you know, friends and community supporting you. Do you know what I mean? It's not as easy, or it's not as accessible for everyone. Everyone's got their own circumstances, but if you do have family, friends, and people supporting you, then try some stuff, man. Because what I found in my years working full time and pursuing the music is I had learned a lot about myself and the world. I didn't realize at the time, but when I reflected on it, I realized that I've got public speaking abilities. And that was one of the main reasons I went into teaching. It was that coupled with, I want to take everything I've learned and offer it back to young people, so they don't make some of the mistakes I made. Do you know what I'm saying? It was literally the fact that I knew I was confident speaking in front of people because I'd been on stage for years. I'd done MC battles. I did, you know, bits in America, shows all up and down the UK. So I could walk into any room and just start talking. It's pretty natural to me now. And the fact that, I'd learned all these lessons about life, you know, failures, successes. It's just like, right, let me take what I've got and say to young people, look, don't do it the way that I did it. Do you know what I mean? So for a young person nowadays, you can go out and try some stuff and learn some things about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're interested in, where you want to go, who you want to be, what you want to achieve. And I think that will then inform the choices that people make for degrees.
Yeah, and even as you're talking, it makes me think about the cost. How much are you willing to pay to not have that? Because you take 6 years or something like that away from education to come back at the right time, having worked, so you have money, and then all these life experiences that you have. Whereas if you back then actually went to uni, you would now be 6 years down the line with, I don't know if you paid for uni back then, but
Yeah, we did.
debt.
We did, yeah.
And probably you would have known yourself a lot less
Yep.
because you would have just been in uni, in still the system,
Yeah.
having been in a situation where you're told what to do, and so you haven't had the time to be yourself, to look at yourself, to fail and see what you like, see what you don't like, because you're still in the bubble. And so you can imagine how many people would, if they were out the bubble, really express themselves.
Yeah, and flourish. And I think, you know, I mean, where you said debt, for example, obviously I had to pay to go to uni. And thank the Lord, my cohort, I think, was the last or one of the last to pay the 3,000 instead of the 9,000 a year. Wow. Yeah, literally. So, but anyway, to me, even though I had to pay, because of my mindset, it's an investment. It's not a debt. See what I'm saying? And if we compare that to, you know, the 18, 19-year-old who's just gone through the system, they're coming out thinking, man, I've got this huge debt. I remember a few years ago, this is when I just started my teacher training, I had 2 young ladies on the bus. I sort of overheard them talking, and they were talking about this very thing. Oh, you know, going to uni, and I don't want the debt, and it's £9,000 a year, but, you know, I do want to kind of go, and I think it's important. And I just turned to them, you know, and I said, guys, like, try to think of it as an investment. You know, take that money, and it's an investment into your future, because it's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah, I'll push back on that though. The reason why I would still say is regardless of debt. Well, not regardless. I think it's an investment in your situation. You knew what you wanted to do, and so you're putting in money knowing the return. It's just not an investment if you can't see that.
Absolutely.
And
And this is why I think perspective is key.
Yeah, because you've got a bunch of people not knowing how much they put in.
Yeah.
'Cause that's another thing. You know, $3,000. You know, even not in debt. In depth. Sorry, you know, interest and you know build and. When I went, it was literally one talk on student loans, and they glossed it up to make it seem like don't worry about it. It's just a little, and you won't have to pay it back if you die, and all these little things that you think, oh okay, even though it's like, of course not. but it's just these little hidden clauses. That was like, oh, if you travel and you live abroad, we'll find you.
Oh yeah.
We'll catch you, and you're gonna pay in that currency. But you just signed a dotted line. It's like you don't know.
It's true.
You don't know the investment that you're. It's not an investment because you just don't know. You don't know how it's gonna grow. You don't know even now. And this is now looking back. I'm speaking with guys that we both know, and one of them had a bonus, nice bonus. And then he's told what the bonus is, and he's thinking, "Praise God, thank you."
Yeah.
Then he gets his statement, and the bonus minus the tax minus the NI, and then minus the student loan. And the student loan was actually bigger than the usual because there's a clause where if you earn more money, then you take a bigger cut. And so he's crying.
You walked home with £10.
Literally. He walked home with chicken change. He's thinking,
oh my gosh.
I haven't experienced the beauty of the bonus. It wasn't a bonus. It was just...
It's just a pat on the back.
Yeah. Just hold that for me. But his mindset wasn't an investment. Otherwise, he would have been like, "Oh, it's part of it." But in his mind,
absolutely,
it wasn't that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the key. Really, is just knowing that it's an option. I think that's the key. You know, it's not the one-stop shop. It's not for everybody.
How do you know if it's not for you?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. It's hard. I think you start school, you know, especially if you include preschool, from the time you're like 3 years old, you're being educated by, you know, the state or, you know, private educator up until you're 18. So it's quite hard to know. It's quite hard to know, to have a true sense of your learning style. I'd imagine it's really difficult. I didn't develop that truer sense of my learning style until I was in my mid-20s. And again, I had to get to a point where I had to sit down and think about it. So how do you know it's not for you? Try to get guidance, again, from your network, whether it's family, friends, even an older peer who's, you know, maybe a few years older than you and they've gone through it a little bit. Talk to teachers, man. You know, try and ask some of those questions about, you know, ask that very question. Sir, miss, how do I know if uni's for me? You know.
I think the other thing is you've got to deep it that you're not running away from education. Because I think that's one thing. I'm not going uni because I don't want to learn, but you're going to run back into it. If you're not doing that, you're doing an apprenticeship, and that's full of learning. If you manage to get a job, you're going to get an entry-level job. You're going to want to improve. So you might, by experience, go up a couple levels. But then you're going to reach the ceiling where the only next jump would mean a course. Or going back to uni or whatever. So to make it will still require some sort of learning. And even if it's creative in drama or music, there's still learning involved.
Absolutely.
It's just a different way. It's not textbook sit down, but there's still an element of absorbing information, internalizing it, comprehending it, and then trying to relay it somehow. And so I think that's probably one thing you're going to have to settle with yourself, where you're going to just know you're going to have to learn regardless. Now the question is, well, how do I want to learn? Like you're saying, what style do I have? And it would be worth, and again, we spoke about this in other conversations with the issues, but it would have been something worth allowing kids to express those different styles throughout these 18 years.
Absolutely.